Hey, hi everyone, French Vinyl Addict in another video. Hope you guys are okay. In this episode, I'm hopping on another thread. Yeah, second threads in a row. You rarely see that on my channel, right? But the thing is, I recently watched a video by Gordon, which is pretty new in the VC, I guess. His channel goes by I Dig Vinyl, so which I'm giving a shout out to. And he tackled a very interesting challenge, this one brought by Lloyd Boone. And I didn't know what happened to Lloyd's first channel until I recently, or because I also watched Mike Vinyl Sparrow, who also tackled the same challenge. And yeah, it has been brought to my notice that Lloyd have dealt with some issues with his first channel, so he had to start from scratch a new one, which goes by Mr. Hats, the musical chap. So how about that? And yeah, the thread is pretty much easy, you know, it's all about Australian stuff, Australian music. And so the main motivation, of course, is because why I'm hopping on this thread myself too, is because I've been listening to lots of Australian stuff in the past years. But in the past few months, I was literally spoiled like several times by my friend Fred, Big Star 1000. So New Delhi, that's the name of Fred's French-speaking channel. If you speak French out there, you can maybe check out his channel. And yeah, he sent me lots of great stuff, lots of obscure gems, lots of stuff I never see over here in Canada. So yeah, how about that? How about exploring maybe some stuff you rarely see on the VC by a French guy who lives in Canada, talking about stuff from the land down there. How about that? Without further ado, let's start with the first one, which is not a present from Fred, but a very latest purchase I made last weekend. We had a record show in Montreal, and I found a copy of this one, which is an obscure band formed in '69 in Sydney. Yeah. So this is folk, but this is absolutely a fantastic folk album. The singer, the vocal part reminds me of John Baez or Buffy Sainte-Marie, but you also have this, it goes in every possible direction. It has the pastoral elements from the English, as well as the primitive, you know, it goes almost to the music concrete, so territories, ever like kind of experimental. So really good extradition. Hush, you know, this is a reissue since, you know, an OG copy cost an arm and legs. I think average value on this goes is 2K something, 2 grand. So I was lucky I could find this reissue of this fantastic mid 70s folk, yeah, folk with lots of mysticism, as I said, album from Australia. Highly recommend if you are into this kind of stuff. Next one is a comp, which was given me by Fred. A comp, as you can see, post-punk 78, 82 Australian. Those are, you know, obscure stuff, and it goes a little bit in every direction. Might be a photographic picture of the scene, what it was back then. You know, lots of band, and it goes, as I said, in every direction. You had lots of DIY, more structure stuff with a krautrock influenced Moog. Other bands play more like Wire in my ears, so pretty interesting. This is a double, not a double CD, a double discs, double LP comp. Can't Stop It, Australian post-punk. Also, I recommend if you are into this kind of stuff. One of my favorite album, I often go back to. This is a Freedom Lapse by Adam Halliwell. And this is a side project he made since he's the band leader of a band called My Life, which I will go back to in a minute. So I discovered this album, this artist with this album, or thanks to this album. Pretty much a side project, as I said. It goes in the John Hassel territory, fourth world, like very experimental, as I say, with some jazz influence, obviously. So Freedom Lapse. And since we were talking about Adam Hassel's first band, of course I received lots of his albums he made with his band. This is My Life. This is a second one, Automatic. So it's more like this one, some jazz. You know, it has this jazz electronic feeling. with a little bit more of a French touch, you know, like Air, for instance. And on side 2 reminds me a little bit of Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here era. So this is the second one, automatic. I also have their debut album, Phase, which is a little bit less French touch things, more like pop with jazzy influence. Really cool as well. So My Life. Now we are going back to the mid-80s with one of my favorite today discoveries, post-punk Laughing Clowns. Laughing Clowns, if you never heard of this band, you probably heard of The Saints. This is Ed Cooper's first band. He was like really famous since I think they had some, they even played on the BBC. There is this footage when you can see Ed Cooper with the Saints playing a song from the Eternally Yours, which has been shown by Mike. And as it happens, there is a song called Eternally Yours on this one, which is not the Eternally Yours album by the Saints, but also very like post-punk. It's an absolutely fantastic record if you like this post-punk sound with some with some free jazz. They had a very Louis Elliott, that's the name of the saxophone player, gives a very interesting like very deep touch. Absolutely in love with the same with the Saints as well, but with this one, which is Laughing Clowns, Law of Nature. This one has been released originally in 1984. Talking about a little bit more modern stuff, this one has been shown by Mike as well. This is Civic, Taken by Force, which was a recommendation by the other big guy from Australia, Mr. Ben Rankings. So yeah, this is a truly it was a good surprise. I think he made a video about his favorite punk stuff and just gave a fair listen to online, and I was like really blew my mind. So I ordered, or Fred gave me a copy. It was like much more easier to source locally. So Civic, and I think there is this entourage with the other famous band, Radio Birdman. Moving on with something a little bit different, or quite different, something obscure band from the 70s, which is this one, which is Dance of the Spheres, Rainbow Generator. This is truly something folk, like psych folk with lots of Moog, Pink Floyd, krautrock influence, and like didgeridoo. Yeah, how about that? So like primitive Australian stuff. Listen to this one like earlier on, always a good surprise. So how about that instead of the Sphere? Moving on with something a little bit similar, or maybe it's my perception, because I received those records at the same time, the My Life and this one. This is a Godtet, the second one, and this is pretty much electronic jazz, playing with synthesizer, like very spacey, very light, like really interesting. Still in the jazz world, another obscure stuff from the 70s, or obscure, which has been rediscovered. This is a reissue. This is Judy Bailey Quartet. This is Colors. And she was originally from New Zealand, I think, but she moved to Australia, where she established there. And this is pretty much some very like a funky, like very upbeat, joyful. Reminds me a little bit of Herbie Hancock, stuff like that. So this is Colors, really interesting jazz. And another one, which is something different. This album released in 2015, an electronic music, which is truly a tribute to Depeche Mode, industrial stuff, Kraftwerk, video gaming. You have all this element, all this atmosphere, this culture in this record. Interesting. And finishing off with a jazz album, this one, Toki Wire All, which could be in my ears, and whenever I listen to this one, I have a feeling which is very like modern, not boring jazz as well. But could be a soundtrack of a movie, like The Godfather or something happened in the late very like New York. It has this New York-ish, feeling. And yeah, as I say, it could be a soundtrack. If I were to make a movie about late 40s London, I could definitely use those tracks. So how about that? So yep, this is my selection. Good luck, Lloyd, with your new channel. If you never heard of Lloyd, I will put everything you need to know in this video description. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye bye.